Have you set a deadline for when you're going to publish?
Have you?
But the question is, should you? There's both pros and cons to using a deadline as part of your writing process, which I covered in this video and this video. Trust me, I know. Today, I'm giving you my 5 tips on how to stay motivated without a deadline. What's up, Internet? I'm Tim Green, and this is my writing channel. You can download my free Excel word count trackers. Like, subscribe. Let's get started. I know I said this is part of how to set a deadline. It can be helpful when you don't have a deadline.
You do want to get that novel written, right?
Having someone check in on you to see that you're making progress is helpful. Do you really want to tell that person or person you're at the exact same spot where you were the last time they checked in? And it's all because you didn't feel like writing?
Didn't think so.
This can also be helpful if you give them a rough time frame of when you'd like your draft to be done by. No set date, and tell them that. But also make sure they know it's not a deadline. This way when they check in on you, they can ask you, do you think you're going to make that time period? Listing out your goals for the novel, the idea of when you'd like them completed by, will be helpful. If you just say whenever, you're not going to be motivated to write. This is fine if you just want to write whenever you feel like it and don't care about publishing. But if you want to have a writing career, you need to be writing. Listing out your goals will help. Also, it allows you to give them to your accountability partner so they can check in on you. Once you have your goals listed out and given to your accountability partner or partners, it's time to break them down into tiny steps.
And I mean tiny.
How tiny will depend on how easy or hard it's going to be. Something that's going to be super hard will be a lot easier if you break it down into 50 steps less than 5. On the other hand, something that's going to be super easy doesn't need 50 steps when 2 will do. The reason for breaking them down into tiny steps is because you can get a bunch of them done. When you get them done, you cross them off and you're going to see that you're making progress. And that will help motivate you. But also, when you're making progress, you get to treat yourself. This should not be used for every tiny step you achieve. Well, maybe in the beginning, those first few, you can reward yourself, but the reward should be tiny as well. After that, more steps are going to be needed to be accomplished to get the next incentive. I used the incentive in my contract to write a trilogy in a year. I didn't use one daily for small things, I had one big one. My reward for completing the trilogy in the year was to buy a new computer. And at that point, I was desperate for a brand new computer. Having small incentives is a great way to help motivate you, but having one giant one that you get at the end for completing is also helpful. Scheduling when you're going to work on these tiny steps will help. And it's very similar to making a plan, but you've already done that when you broke down your goals into those tiny steps. I'm talking about when during the day you're actually going to work on these steps, not when they're going to be accomplished, because that would be a deadline. Knowing when you're going to work on them and letting your accountability partners know, it will help. Also, please let everyone in your life who might interrupt you to leave the alone during this time. I also recommend having this sign hanging from your closed door. There you go, my tips on how to stay motivated without a deadline. I'm sorry if you wanted more, but when I researched this, most of the tips were basically saying, get used to using a deadline. And I really wanted my tips to be focused solely on not using a deadline. And if you did enjoy this video, I would love it so much if you would smash that like button and subscribe. Don't forget, you can download my free Excel word count trackers. Now that you know my tips on how to stay motivated without a deadline, learn my tips on how to create a deadline that motivates by clicking on the video here. And I'll see you there. Thanks for watching. Bye.